Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of our videos. Please take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy.
People that worked with a dating app company, what's a dark secret dating sites don't want us to know. Watched a German documentary that shows how dating websites are faking profiles and are chatting with the customers to keep them in the app and getting their money. The reporter starts to work for the dating portal and shows how they are trained to keep the texting going because every message costs money. The people are chatting with hundreds of customers. In this documentary it is shown how they betrayed a woman to the point she wanted to end it. At this point the reporter ends the documentary because she can't stand it anymore. In the second part it is shown that she luckily didn't go through with it. Some of the dating portals are run by pure scum. In the second part they show the creation of those fake profiles, where they get photos without the knowledge of the people in the photos. Photos for fake profiles come from Instagram and Facebook with no privacy settings. I used to work at a big dating site, although this was about 4 to 5 years ago. Globally, about 90% of the users are men, so there is a huge male to female disparity, although it's not that bad on a per country basis, for some countries. The most depressing stat though was the histogram of word count in messages. Something like 91% of opening messages were just one word hey, and 85% of conversations were just one exchange long, hey, no reply ever. Looking at human, digital mating habits played out in data science form was really depressing. My old boss was the financial controller of a big dating site. He kept on seeing these big invoices for modeling agencies and initially thought it was because of the big parties they used to host. When he asked about it, it turned out it was just content for the fake profiles they created to lure in users. I used to moderate a known dating app. The amount of unsolicited genital pictures men would send women, not even accompanied by any words, was horrifying. I mean, you'd expect it because online dating is a cesspit, but the sheer amount would still surprise you. I had to look at each reported picture and say, yes, that's a wiener. What the hell goes through someone's mind that makes them think, right, I'm trying to find another human being to go on a date with me, have intercourse with me, or maybe even a long-term relationship. Need to make a good impression. What can I say? I know, I'll send a pic of the old boy, that'll make her instantly fall in love with me. Nailed it. This was years ago now, but I used to work with a guy who had been an engineer for a well-known dating app. He said 99% of the profiles were inactive, and that 80% of the active profiles were men. He didn't provide numbers but also said there was a huge disparity between the average number of messages sent to women versus those sent to men. According to him, all of them told the site was mostly men reaching out to dead profiles and never getting responses. As I said, however, this was years ago, so it's entirely possible that they've cleaned the site up since then. Okay, so I didn't work with a dating company per se. But I helped software engineers optimize their profiles. Men get very few matches, regardless of how good their profile is. Women get a lot of matches, but most of those matches are useless. I wanted to share my basic advice. Don't try to appeal mildly to everyone. Appeal strongly to a small subset of people. Emphasize who you are. Show, don't tell, what makes a person want to date you. Will you impress them with your volunteer work? Will you bring them fun places? Will you make them laugh? Get good photos. If you have to, get a friend with a good camera to take photos of you multiple times over a day with several changes of clothes. Be brutally honest. Do you need to go to the dentist because your teeth are gray? Go. Do you need to get a haircut? Go somewhere that charges $50 a haircut and tell them to do what they want, if male. Do your clothes fit? Ask a fashionable friend. Remember, people are judging you on your appearance as much as you are judging them. They can't see you're kind of funny or interesting. They can see if you're well-groomed and making an effort. In early and mid-2000s I worked for a hosting company that hosted servers for several adult personals websites. A bunch of people who worked there went through all the allegedly privacy-controlled content from the server side to harvest all the lewds women had uploaded regardless of privacy settings. I was pretty much the only person in the team who thought it was gross and weird because people didn't consent to share that stuff with everyone. They thought they had privacy settings that controlled who could see it. Most of the people in the team who didn't participate in the practice objected because they didn't want to sift through dudes' wiener pics to creep out on women. Really glad I got out of that cesspool. As a guy, it's good to realize that you can't win a rigged game. That means you can put all that potentially wasted effort into something that will produce real results. Dating apps for shy guys are like escalators for obese people. You might think, hey, the perfect technology for me. But it's actually better for you to take the stairs. It's supposed to be terrifying to approach women. You're supposed to learn to do it anyway. That's what makes it attractive, even if you are awkward as hell while doing it. It signals to them that, in spite of the crippling knowledge of your own insufficiencies, you are capable of moving forward and going after what you want. I did a Tinder date export a year ago or so, and did some statistics on my own luck. 24,747 likes and 59,702 dislikes over 667 days, resulting in 47 matches. Out of those 47 matches, only 8 matches actually led to conversation threads with at least 3 messages. So, in those 24,747 right swipes I did in a little less than 2 years, I got 8 conversations out of it. That's more than 3,000 right swipes per conversation. It's a pretty efficient platform for thoroughly crushing your soul. A friend wrote her master thesis about the different criteria in online dating in real life. Almost half, 43%, the female participants who were in a relationship told they would never have swiped right on their current partner. Other interesting results were that over 60% of men they wrote with on apps and agreed to go on a date, would have no chance, if they asked in real life. Guys swipe right on 47% of profiles. Women only swipe right on 12%. Searching for serious or casual relationships for men versus women. 61% of men want something serious while 38% want something casual. 87% of women want something serious while only 13% want something casual. It's worth noting on that last one that it's partially because of a difference in how men and women would describe themselves if they're not sure. Women would rather say something serious if they're not sure to see how something goes, but happy for it to turn casual if they're not feeling it. While men would prefer to say something casual and then happy for it to turn serious if they like them. I worked for a famous dating site for a couple years. This is probably widely known, but women frequently lie about their age and weight, and men lie about their height and salary. Also, it's a big problem that women are inundated with DMs while most men get none. Someone replied, I tried my best to get conversations started but got absolutely nowhere. I must have rewritten my profile 5 times thinking there must be something in it that was off. I'm a fairly average guy, so nothing weird in it, but it made no difference. Thankfully, the one and only date I went on was a girl I really hit it off with. We've now been together for 14 years, married for 12, and have a daughter together, so it worked out in the end. I was ready to give up right before I met her, though. When I asked my now wife about her experience, it was the complete opposite, and she had barely had to buy her own dinner for the past 6 months because of how many dates she'd been on. A couple met on the dating app I worked on. Unfortunately, the man passed away and the lady returned to the app where they met for remembrance. One day, a bug in the system made some profile likes to be sent again after months, and she received one from her deceased boyfriend. Her bug report was heartbreaking. I had to apply to a certain amount of internships for grad school doing public relations, but I already knew which internship I wanted, but I applied to the Ashley Madison internship too. I got an interview there and they paid the most. So, I thought I'd check it out. The 2 dudes interviewed me leveled with me right away and said they were going to hire a woman for the public relations job, but they had a contract position for a dating coach and I was one of the few straight, masculine, social dudes who's outgoing in our PR program. So they offered me a part-time dating coach job. I took it but also had another job and it was way too much. It was so depressing, man. Any guy seeking out a dating coach to have an affair is a lost cause. Plus Ashley Madison is like all bots, women aren't seeking out affairs like that. I was out after a few days. The people that worked there were exactly the type of people you'd think that worked for such a company. Every time I tried to kinda hint and acknowledge how the premise of their website is messed up, they'd actually act confused and genuinely seem to not understand what the big deal was. Greasy people, almost all of them. Funny enough, the most innocent girl in my program got the original internship and it turned her off PR for good. My ex-boyfriend worked for the Yahoo Italy dating site back in the early-ish 2000s. His job was to pretend to be a woman, and message male customers just as their accounts were going to expire. This would encourage them to pay to renew their subscriptions. Once they renewed, he would ghost them. He only lasted for a few months due to how unethical it was. The thing that really pisses me off about this is, back in the day when I online dated, some guys I met were really salty about getting ghosted. It added to this general opinion that women are fickle, slutty, don't know what they want, etc. I never ghosted anyone and was upfront if I felt it wasn't a match. And got the other end of this with some aggressive responses which made me realize why some women would actually ghost a guy. It's aggravating to know that so many companies knowingly add to these issues and contribute to misogynistic attitudes by leading these men on with fake profiles for profit.
Congratulations, you've made it to the end. We want to thank you again for giving us a few minutes of your time, and we wish you have a great rest of your day, night, or whenever you're watching this. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, it really does help us a lot. That's it from me, roll the outro.